And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 83 of the Sling'N podcast. I'm TJ.
And I'm Kent, and I can't believe we can count to 83.
I didn't say we counted.
Hey. Point well taken.
So, folks, it has been a couple of weeks since you have gotten to see mine or Kent's smiling faces or even hear the sound of our voices. So, we have missed you. We are back. What's new with you, buddy? How you been?
I've been good, man. I just did a mail call down here. I got some of these Tim Herron shooting go fast, don't suck, stick 'em up targets.
Oh, that's fun. So you got a package from Tim Herron?
Not from Tim Herron, from the people who brought you the Fuck Tim Herron t-shirt, go fast, don't suck.
Okay. I mean, just
yeah,
sure.
Right. Well, that's great. I mean, I need to make.
Let's be real though. If you really wanted to fuck Tim Herron, you just have to take all of his food and move it to the top shelf.
Jesus Christ, that's not where I thought that was going. I'm just waiting.
I mean, would he or would he not be fucked then?
He would, in fact. He would need a stepladder. You are a terrible person.
I am. Tim, I love you, but I couldn't resist, buddy.
My goodness.
Folks, if you're new to the podcast, welcome to the shit show. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Hell, hide yourself. I don't know where this is going to go, but I mean, frankly, I think the topic of tonight's show is going to be pretty interesting.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
To answer your question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hashtag gun school. We do all the gun school things. And recently we do all the med school things. We're starting to teach med classes up in this biatch. This is the part where you, like the Asian father, asked me, Kent, are you doctor yet?
Are you doctor yet?
I am not doctor. I hire medic.
Okay, fair.
Kent, no doctor. Kent hire medic because fuck all that.
And insert cancel culture now for the racist undertones. It's not racist. It's racial. We don't hate anybody.
Right. I hate people who teach outside their lanes and are unqualified to do what they say they're doing, which is why Kent don't teach med classes. Nice medic girl teaches med classes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Make sense?
Right.
So, let's see. So we got that going on. We got an IDPA state match coming up in 2 weeks. We got defensive pistol metrics at Apache, which currently has 14 out of 16 available slots.
Hey, so let's pause right there. I want to talk to you. Tell me a little bit more about the defensive pistol metrics, because I think last time you actually brought it up on the show, it was kind of still in a conceptual basis, right? Like it was still in its infancy of its development. You got like an elevator pitch for the folks listening so they can, inquiring minds want to know, Ken. Please.
All the best shit, software, tactics, and metrics from competition shooting mixed with we're actually for serious trying to teach you how to fight for your own life. Little column A, little column B.
Little column A, little column B, gotcha. Okay.
More specifically, this one in particular, because it's being held at Apache, was kind of my efforts at nudging those dudes along towards competing. So I want to give them a little of their fluff and a little of our fluff, and hoping they come away meeting in the middle and understanding some values. Not that they don't see value already, not that, a couple of those dudes even have started to dabble and compete a little bit or whatever, but just kind of hey, here's how competitive-based software, competitive-based metrics, competitive-based tracking, all that kind of stuff can apply to you getting better at doing the pew-pew thing.
Okay. No, that's fair. Good shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Carry on.
Yeah. So we got that going on. We got rifle classes coming up. We got CCW Essentials classes coming up. Justin and Hirsch and myself are all busy teaching privates. Let's see what else.
You should try to teach corporals and sergeants while you're at it.
Oh boy.
Dad joke.
No Velveteers. Dad jokes. Stand by, please.
Oh God. Look, they lose their authenticity when you have to Google them.
I didn't Google them. I wrote these ones down.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, easy there.
Okay.
Ready?
All right, go ahead.
Why do they keep toast in the zoo?
Oh, God, why?
It's bred in captivity.
Motherfucker. Why are we friends?
This doesn't have a punchline. It's just a simple question, and I'd like the answer to it. How do blind people know when to stop wiping?
What does that have to do with anything?
There's no punchline. I honestly would like to know how blind people know how to stop wiping.
Yeah, you went on mute. That's God sending you a message.
No, but seriously, like I don't know how they know. Nobody's ever told me.
Best guess?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying best guess. Like I get.
Yeah, I don't know.
Good enough.
Right. Okay. So 2 antennas had a wedding. The church was pretty boring, but the reception was amazing.
Okay, I feel like you're cheating now. I feel like you Googled that one. No, I understand you wrote them down, but I feel like I've heard that one before.
Well, I mean, maybe so. Okay. Did you guys know there's a restaurant on the moon? The food's great, but the atmosphere sucks.
Oh, God. Well, that concludes the show, folks. We thought we'd make it to episode 100. We just fell short. We made it.
I need your wife on here to
level.
enjoy these with me. I really do.
No, we can't. I would give up. I'm done. I would let you two take the show over, and it'd be the Sling'N Dad Jokes podcast. Yes, folks, my wife her and Kent have this. Sadly, it's not even a secret relationship. They openly rub it in my face that they both enjoy dad jokes together, and
yeah.
It makes me question my life choices sometimes. But yeah.
Okay. So
anyway.
After all that being said, what do you got going on besides being super awesome ginger IT guy? And
yeah. So we took our vacation. Went out to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area in West Tennessee or East Tennessee. I forgot which direction was which. Out in East Tennessee, Great Smoky Mountains, and we took the Jeep and did a little bit of off-roading. Earned a badge of honor from the Jeep Badge of Honor program. I thought that was pretty dope. Got it in already. Stuck right there, right underneath my trail-rated badge. So it's kind of like that little default trail-rated circle that's on that medallion that's on every Jeep. Well, yeah, mine's like, no, seriously.
Right.
That's what I feel like those things reference.
Right, I like it.
The wife and kids spent most of that day with their heart in their throat because none of them have ever done any serious off-roading like that.
Yep.
And Kent, you were nice enough when we came up to stay with you guys last year. We did a little light off-road, a little trail riding, if you will. No, we had this shit sideways, bro.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some new scratches and scrapes on the Jeep. I had to bend a Nerf bar back into place. When we got home, I had to wash it 3 times to get all the mud off of it. It was good times, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
But yeah, so did vacation. We did an escape room. Those of you guys that follow me on Instagram probably would have seen this. So this is our first escape room ever. Never done one before. I've never done one by myself with my friends. Wife and kids never done one. My son wanted to do an escape room. That is what he chose for his activity.
Okay.
The theme was discovering, well, aside from escaping, but discovering the date, time, and location of a terrorist attack.
Ooh.
Be still my heart. My son wants to follow in my footsteps. Okay.
Ooh.
Super cool. 2 rooms. Nothing crazy. This is one of the easier rated one. Like, this is our first time. We're not curing cancer here. Let's just try to find out what the terrorists are doing. So me, the wife, the son, having a blast. Daughter, 6-year-old, literally standing in the middle of the room, just going, I don't know what I'm doing. It can only be captured as eloquently as a character in a Mel Brooks movie.
Okay.
Just that over-the-top stereotypical damsel in distress where everybody else is running around around the room trying to solve the problem, and she's standing in the middle of the room just kind of crying and screaming.
I like that.
So yeah, she does not handle stress well. But no, good times all around, and we're glad to be back, man. So been back in the saddle So I got back last week. Then we had a big deal at the company I work for that required me to be in the office every day. So we did do a show last week, but we're back now.
Right, we're back now.
We're back now.
We are back now, we have a particularly good topic, if I do say so myself.
I think so too.
Given that it's my idea, and all my ideas are amazing.
I can count on at least one hand.
Okay.
The ideas that I know of that you've had that were amazing.
Okay. I'll take that. Anywho, so what we're going to talk about tonight is how defensive training, mindset, prepping, planning, med stuff, jiu-jitsu stuff, gun stuff, our lifestyle in a nutshell can strain some of our personal relationships. Yeah. And how that strain on those personal relationships can manifest in stress on ourselves, and certainly strained familial and certainly friendships that are otherwise are intact until it comes to these topics. Now, I've got this kind of in my own head broken out in a couple categories. The first category would be the folks who are agnostic to our lifestyle. They don't particularly favor or disfavor what we do.
The I don't cares.
Sure. They just know that instead of being at the insert thing here this weekend, you were at the range or on the mats or in the basement working on the ammos or at a match somewhere or doing whatever it was you were doing. It wasn't what the rest of the group of friends was up to.
Right.
That's the kind of one. And that can, I'm using friends and family pretty interchangeably because it's a two-way street here. Another category of those types of people would simply be people who are anti. They don't enjoy, don't like, don't see the value in.
Yeah, the antithesis of the responsible self-defender.
Sure, maybe they even would rather see our rights stripped from us than us exercise them. But for whatever reason, we're either bound by blood or something else, and they matter enough to us that we continue the relationship, regardless of not being simpatico on beliefs. And P.S., I have very good friends who I'm not 100% simpatico on when it comes to belief structure. Like you don't have to 100% agree with me to be a friend of mine, and I don't think that should be the case. And then the third group would be people who are supportive of the cause, down with the sickness. That's all cool. That's all well and good until it takes away something from your life that I would want from you otherwise. You know, they're the people who are, yeah, thumbs up. This is awesome. Blah, 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 blah. This is so cool. This is rad. This is amazing. But
but it's a participation sport?
Right. But you mean I have to be there until do it? I don't get it. Why can't I just talk to you about it? So those are the people that I'm kind of talking about here. Interestingly enough, the people who I think are the ground that we can do the most good with in our own relationships, as well as just in the world in general, are the agnostics, the people who don't care either way. They just don't understand what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself not making particularly great headway with the dudes who are always on the interwebs, go Second Amendment, but yet never show up to anything, don't put in any work, haven't grown their skill sets, I can't gain any more ground with them than I can with the people who are anti. The people in the middle, though, the people who are just really truly don't get it. Like, I don't get, like, Kent, what the hell do you do all weekend and most nights of the week? Like, I honestly, I don't get it.
Yeah, let's revisit at least briefly the antis, because I think we could discuss that quickly and essentially put that one to bed in relatively short order. If we can come to terms and agree, Kent, that the people that are complete anti, right? But to your original premise of the discussion, people that you really can't necessarily separate from your life. You can't really disown them. You can't. Families. It's all about family.
Sure.
Right. Insert cheesy Vin Diesel meme here. And hey, family. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to the humor that comes along with the whole Vin Diesel Fast and Furious 19 movies that are out there. Family is important, and I think we would be remiss if we just dismissed that.
Sure.
With that being said, it comes along, and the way we could put this a bit quickly is that, guys, it comes down to agree to disagree, right?
Yep.
And sadly, I think that the world could do a lot more with that. We could do a lot better. We could do a lot better with that. Just agree to disagree. You're not gonna come to my side of the aisle. I'm not gonna come to yours, but I'm not gonna hate you for it.
Yeah, I mean, especially when those are people who truly, truly matter in your life. Otherwise, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your aunt, I'm not talking about specific members of my family. I'm just saying in general. The other individual who I was having at length discussions with this about is also having it's centered around like one particular family member who literally means the world to this person.
Right.
Otherwise, but they can't get together on this topic. Now, part of that, like it's 50-50, right? So part of this is due to the fact that firearms training, self-defense, blah, 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 has become an overly politicized and therefore overly what's the word I'm looking for? Overly controversial topic when it doesn't really have to be. So from the anti perspective, if you're a gun dude or if you're a martial arts dude or if you're a whatever kind of self-reliant guy, you're talking, toxic masculinity and all this other stuff that you supposedly also are when you're not, but that's the way it gets portrayed. Mm-hmm. So this individual and his literal super duper important family member cannot get together on like that family member does not understand what he's doing with all his time. Like, it's not even a question of like, I get it, I don't get it, I support it, I don't support it, I'm super anti.
It's seen as a waste of life.
Yeah, either like, I can imagine that in my own personal family, I have a young man who I'm involved in his life. He's about 19. He's not my brother, but he is related to me. And if he was going to be a professional at anything right now, he'd probably be a professional video gamer. Okay. Right. If like, honestly, if you were going to like, you need to make $100,000 this year, how are you going to do it?
Right.
Probably playing video games or working 90 or 100 hours a week. One of the two. It is as though I would look at that and go, I don't see the value in that. Like, I don't get it. This means nothing to me. This is dumb. Go do something else. I would offhandedly dismiss it. Now, why would I?
You keep hitting your mute button, Kent. You're on a roll. You got good topics, and then just all over it.
Oops.
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay, we're back.
I'm excuse me. I'm so very sorry. And I just have to make sure that I didn't F anything else. I literally bumped my mute button. I'm retarded. I swear to God. So anyway, hey, like, do you see a value in this? No, I don't see a value in video games. I think they're a waste of your time. Do I think that you should like have some fun and play some occasionally? Sure. Do I think you should live in the basement and play 100 hours a week of them? No. And I think the chances of you getting good enough to make a living at it are pretty slim. A person my age could have talked to 19-year-old me and told me the exact same shit about guns.
Well, no, agreed. Right. I think we need to level the playing field though, just a little bit. How old were you when you started training professionally? Somebody started giving you money to teach. How close to that age of 19 were you?
Closer than I'd like. 22, 23.
Okay.
First time I ever got paid to do it ever.
Right. Okay. So if we look back at it, right, the skills that you acquired probably began long before 19, but you probably started taking it seriously, at least serious enough on your own accord to get to the level that you could train, right? Did you know at 19 that you wanted to be a professional firearms instructor?
No, I probably knew in my I got super duper serious about it about the time that I was legally allowed to carry a fire, like about 21.
Okay, yeah, because that makes sense.
Right.
That's a natural evolution. So I think where I have a problem with the comparison is that I can agree that certain things are a waste of time because there is, with respect to this, again, to this comparison here, I can agree that it can be seen as a waste of time because unless he intends to go become a professional video gamer or a game designer, game developer, whatever, otherwise he's just screwing off.
Right? No, he does not. And he's not. I'm overusing an example.
No, understood.
I'm taking it to the antithesis of silly to prove a point. He actually works real hard and doesn't play too many video games or whatever. But if I was going to sit here and bitch at him about something, that would be what it would be.
Oh no, I understand completely. But I think that sets the premise on our side of the argument or the discussion where you don't have to understand it. Because what I'm doing, spending my time on, will one day actually make me a better, more capable person. Contributor to society, contributor to myself and my family, whether I choose to seek it out professionally or not. Right? I could make the case, why would you go get CPR training? You've got 911 on your phone. You're wasting your time.
Sure.
Right? Same thing. You don't necessarily have to be a professional in the spirit of getting paid to teach others to master that skill set for it to be of value. And I think that's what a lot of people on the other side of the aisle kind of fail to understand.
Sure. And the other thing about that too is like what's funny is certain ones of these things that people put a lot of their time into are generally disrespected more than others. Because those activities are not as politicized or as lauded in the media or anywhere else. You would never think twice about saying to your buddy TJ, hey, TJ, I don't think all that time you're spending modifying your Jeep and taking your family out on trail rides and learning about off-roading and learning about all the different places never would you say to a person who's going to go outside, get fresh air, enjoy time with friends and family, and learn to be better at a skill set, never in a million years would you say you're just wasting your time with all that Jeep stuff.
Right.
You wouldn't say that to that guy.
No, absolutely.
But because shooting and self-defense and training and all that stuff has become so vilified and politicized, people would actually say, like, hey, I think you're wasting your time.
Well, and there's also a lot of, and I would caution people that, like, look, guys, it's a discussion. Like, it's always worth a discussion. It's worth educating people. We have to understand that person that's challenging you on becoming a responsible self-defender, about going out, getting training, becoming proficient with a firearm, an expert, if you will, or at least on the path to expertise. They're coming at it from a very myopic sense. We have this really bad habit. And we kind of pick it up as kids. And I would argue that unless you're kind of culturally diversified, you really don't ever change the sentiment. So anything that is not the norm, that I perceive as weird, personally, I think everybody perceives as weird, or strange, or anything different is bad, right? So it's the same thing. This person is taking their own bastardized perception because the media says, oh, this is bad. Guns are bad. This is a political topic. Anyone who's doing this is a white supremacist and training to murder babies. Right. That one person's interpretation of that messaging, they are applying universally to society as being society's view.
Sure.
Right. So we would be irresponsible in reacting to that one person's narrow-mindedness in our response to how we would handle it. Right. Like,
Sure.
look, just because, look, I get it. You think it's weird, but hey, let's sit down and have a conversation about this.
Yeah. Well, and interestingly enough, right, the idea that it may be weird or it may be different or whatever, it translates into other parts of the same discussion. Like, for example, another person who I was talking to about this was talking to me about like, hey man, how do you initiate your coworkers and your friends? Like, how do you because like imagine a setting where the guys are around the water cooler, right? Like, so everybody comes into work Monday morning and gets around the water cooler, and at some point between 8 and 10:30 in the morning, the hey, what'd you guys do this weekend comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And Earl was out fishing, and Larry was modifying his race car, and Chelsea went to the hair salon and took her kid to Build-A-Bear, and Josh went to football practice, and Mike went to the zoo with his wife and his kids. And hey, what did you do, Jim? And Jim goes, oh, I spent this past weekend teaching a medical class on Sunday, and assisting with a medical class on Sunday and teaching private lessons to shooting students on Saturday. That was my whole weekend. Now, the whole group of people does the old like to Jim saying, hey, like, this is what I did this weekend. All those other activities that were brought up.
Yeah, the needle skips off the record really quick.
Right.
Especially if you happen to work in a very politicized work environment.
Sure. So,
if you do work in a very politicized work environment, all of your management should be fired.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. But besides all that, like, why is his weekend any less acceptable than the rest of their weekends? Right?
Yeah, but political pressure and quote unquote, societal perceptions.
Why does Jim have to feel bad about the fact that he spent the weekend doing med class and range stuff? When Karen does not have to feel bad about going to Build-A-Bear with her kid.
Well, I mean, so I think that really kind of gets into the core of the topic of discussion today, right? Or for this week. It's not you, it's me, right?
Right.
There are going to be people that think negatively of you. There are going to be people that you wish that you could have a positive, platonic, or even in some cases a romantic relationship with. Boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives, just friends at work. You want to hang out with your buddies, whatever the case might be. And they're just not going to fit into your life.
Yep.
I think that it would be intellectually dishonest. I think it would be morally dishonest for you to have people like you just because you mold yourself to fit an image that they will like.
Right. Which is in fact what you see most people doing. You see your friends, and you see the common themes. Oh, we went out for drinks. We went to a concert. We went to the show. We went to they do all the same stuff. And, you see your friends who are like I can give you an example of a recent bunch of my friends and I ended up going to a comedy show that we all really enjoyed. Cool as shit, man. It was a comedy show. It was fun. I must have known either as a like direct people in my circle of friends or tangential like friends of friends or whatever. I must have known 25 people up in that place. A good old fun time. Or 200 people in a room. I knew freaking 12.5% of them. That's pretty cool. First of all, it's cool that I can do math still. Second of all,
yeah, that was impressive. You didn't even have to take off your shoes. Holy
shit. Like that shit?
That was good.
But my point being, commonly, nobody in our group of like tangential friends was like, I don't want to be here. This is boring. I don't enjoy it. Nobody was dragged along by their partner. Nobody was forced to do it instead of doing something. Everybody was genuinely like, this would be fucking fun. And of course, what was it? It was fucking fun because everybody was in a good mood, having a good time, the whole deal, right? Now, you take the things that do or don't fit into the friend group, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I'm sorry, I can't come to this because I'm teaching this weekend, or I'm med class this weekend, or I'm shooting a match this weekend, and all of a sudden, then it's like, well, wait a minute, why are you prioritizing that time over what you could be doing with us? Now, interestingly, this stopped happening to me in person when my business became relatively successful. People tied the expenditure of my time to money, and then they got it.
Right, but in the absence of money, what's the pass?
Right.
What's the golden metric that this thing that I enjoy doing that does not jive with your perception as being accepted by society? Because then it's not just about shooting. It's not just about becoming a better self-reliant individual. It's about being a businessman, and people can agree with being a businessman or businesswoman, right?
Yep.
Oh, you get your money, man. Fine. Do what you got to do, right? You're not hurting anybody. Good on you. Go make that money.
You know what?
Anything short of that.
Yep.
And you're evil incarnate.
What's interesting though is some of my one female friend of mine in particular, who's a great friend of mine, has been for years, love her to death, has always respected my passion for things.
Okay.
Regardless of financial success or time spent or like, and she's exactly the kind of person that you'd want to be when you're looking at this, because she can also look at our other friend who's like, I'm in the chess club. And she can be like, that's really, really cool that you're that good at chess.
So how long have you been hanging out with saints?
Right. My point is, in my life, who I'm not married to or blood related to, I only have one friend who can really look at it that objectively, and she can. We've texted about stuff that I wasn't able to come to, that the rest of the group was able to do, and whatever. And every single time the conversation comes up, she does a great job of being like, just remember, I'm proud of you and you're doing hard work for your family. I can always respect that.
Yeah.
And it's neat to see that, where in her level of it, she is agnostic. She's not super pro gun person or super pro defensive lifestyle person or super pro whatever. She's not super anti either. I mean, she's been to my home. She shot guns with me, blah, 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 blah. But she's not the type of person who's going to like dive into the rabbit hole. But yet she has things in her life that she's super interested in that I could give a fuck about. Honestly, I don't care. But for when it comes to her, and all of a sudden I care about it because it's her, because I care that much about that person as a person.
You know what I'm saying? No, I absolutely see what you're saying, but I think you just kind of stumbled upon an interesting dynamic. And if we're talking about interpersonal relationships, and people jiving with the self-defense lifestyle, because that's really what it comes down to, this is a lifestyle. This isn't just a hobby, right? If your case in point, Jim, was just going to go to an occasional shooting competition, those that were not interested probably wouldn't give two shits.
Yeah.
Right. But the fact that somebody lives the lifestyle, someone is always trying to do something actively, be it a competition, wearing all the bro vet clothing, whatever have you, doing the classes, training 4 times a year, like major training 4 times a year, routine individual training on the weekends, even in between major training sessions. That's a different story. But my question to you would be, do you think that men and women approach that topic differently? Like the topic, like if we're talking about the agnostics, right? Right, just the agnostics specifically. Do you feel that agnostic women and agnostic men would approach that differently? Because I think they do.
I do too.
And I think you embodied it perfectly, because you said here it just in the previous 5 minutes, you mentioned that your friend we'll call her Emily, just for shits and giggles. So your friend Emily is supportive of you. She's very, pardon the stereotype, but it's a very much maternal approach. She's proud of you for doing your thing and being good at it. And it's a passion in your life, and she supports you in that spirit. That's very motherly. That's the kind of attitude you'd see from a mom. Well, honey, I know you love playing the recorder in 4th grade, and the fact that you're still doing it at 25, you know what? I love you for it, right?
Yeah.
It's a mom thing. But with guys, I think it's very you immediately flipped it. You were like, she does things that I couldn't give a shit about. But you support her. Yeah, you support her anyway. So is there really a difference, or is it just manifested differently?
Well, here's what I will say.
Or not manifested differently, because it's not actually materializing into any type of tangible support other than passive.
Schrodinger's cat.
It's both alive and dead at the same time.
Yes. I don't know. You just got all smart and psychological on me, so I figured I should say something like Schrodinger's cat.
And I knew the paradox.
I know, because you watch Big Bang Theory too.
No, I actually studied it.
Like the actual cat or the idea?
No, the paradox of Schrodinger's cat.
Right. Paradox is that stuff you put on stains to get it out, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's Clorox. Anyway.
Yeah, that's your department, not mine. I don't deal in hazmat.
Right. So there's a little Easter egg for people trying to figure out what I do for work. That's pretty funny.
He transports Clorox bleach across the country.
So anyway, here's what I will say. When a guy is agnostic about the whole gun and defensive thing, generally their male machismo bubbles to the top just enough to be like, "Whoa, that's fucking cool, bro." Like they get a little bit of that.
Well, I mean, it would kind of go one way or the other, right? Their machismo would bubble. Or they'd be like, they'd get super aggressive and defensive or challenging you.
Yeah.
But why do you waste your time with that shit? Right?
Yeah. And then you look at them and you're like, I could rip your arm out of its socket and beat you to death with it.
We're not going to compare, but
that's exactly what you do.
It might be what I think about.
You see?
I'm not an aggressive person.
Yes, you are.
I'm not aggressive. I am absolutely a tender-hearted Southern boy. That is how. Just because I enunciate, Kent, does not mean I'm prone to violence.
Coming from the guy who introduced Homeboy's face to his Dodge Charger 37 times over a pack of cigarettes, I don't know about you. It happened. I saw it happen.
They were my cigarettes, and well, we don't play that on the cell block. You get that weak shit out of here.
That's what I'm saying. No, but my point is, like, the dudes who are like agnostic about defensive stuff are either, I mean, that's pretty cool, but I don't know why you have to spend so much time on it. Like, in other words, they see the value, but or they're the like, my wife says that when I have a soy latte, I'm allowed to smile just a little bit. Like they're one of those two dudes.
Beta males.
And it's like
we can call them out. It's okay.
Sometimes, like, I look at dude and I'm like, you beta male pussy mother.
Well, I mean, what are they gonna do? Fight us?
Yeah. It's like, dude, don't bring that weak shit up in the cell block. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, there's that attitude, and then there's the like well, I just, I get guns and stuff too, but like, I don't know. I just, if I had to, I just shoot a guy. And it's like, okay. Or they're like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably just punch a dude a couple times.
Well, but see, then you get into the third category of the people you talked about, which is those that bark all day, but they never bite.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it with the dudes. Now with the ladies are either like you said, like the mom, like, good for you. Oh, good for you.
That's so special.
Right.
Right.
Like, I always joke with my mom. What was it? There's the Tyler Perry movie with Medea, the fat black mama.
That's every Tyler Perry movie.
Right, but the mama does this in the movie. She go, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules.
Oh no, that would be Eddie Murphy in Nutty Professor.
Fine. So my mom always jokes about how, like,
if only we knew somebody that had an awkward awareness of pop culture.
Yeah, really. Goddamn, dude. Anyway, my mom, like, I swear to God, I could be crocheting, and she'd be like, "My boy's the best crocheter that ever done did crochet." Like, and somebody at IDP Crochet would be like, "That dude sucks." Like,
if you don't, I swear to God, if you don't crochet yourself a tactical vest to wear at the next IDPA match.
IDP Crochet. Yeah. So there's that whole difference of how people treat you. And then there's like, so, Timmy, I think that's probably Timmy behind the Apache account. I have 50 guns. I'm good. It's like, you ain't for shit with any one of them, but I guess because you have 50, you'll get to people that are overly supportive, and they'll actually, like, so then you're in a conversation, and this happens a lot too. You're like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? You're like, oh, I, teaching defensive firearms training class. And the dude that, like, carries the Taurus Judge in a nylon, fucking small back holster, pipes up. I was just trying to come off with the dumbest. Like, homeboy pipes up and he's like, yeah, hell yeah, brother. Fuck yeah. Judge them all and carry them by 12 and 6 in the feet. Like, God damn it. Now we don't dial 911 at this house. And like the dude with just all the posters and all. Like,
my ocelopsa can make it to the gate in 2.3 seconds.
Like, the dude who's just so like, do you thin blue line hard enough, bro? Yeah.
So we call that posturing.
Right. And you're
9 times out of 10, they're full of shit.
Right. You're talking to that guy like, what do you do? He's like, I'll manage the shit out of a Kinko's. Like,
best head cashier they ever seen.
Yeah, I tell you right now, I can't
go ahead, come in there and try to steal a ream of paper. Watch what happens.
Right. Like, there's that guy. And then meanwhile, there's a dude walking around Best Buy tonight with a 1.15 draw stroke, and they all look at him and think they're like, yeah, fuck that dude. Mm-hmm. And he's a real person. You see my point? It's like, stop it with that shit. But sometimes the people who are trying to be on our side are our worst enemies when it comes to the whole, like, how do you value your time and how do you value your cause and what do you put out there? Because those people, my God, like, just think of the guy that the worst stereotype dude, just goddamn right, America, fucking
bro vets.
Yeah,
or worse, wannabe bro vets. I almost joined the Marine Corps,
right?
But
right,
yeah, it's at this point, yeah, the downside, and I'm cringing because, like, there's the ultimate question: which would you rather deal with? The vehemently antis, the ambiguity crowd, or the quintessential stereotypical bro vet that takes everything to 11?
Yeah.
Right. But never, they rev that tachometer hits red every time, but their tires ain't spinning for shit.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
I'll be honest with you. If I could, rub a lamp or rub a mystical CLP bottle and the genie of Second Amendment rights would come out, I would say all of the bro vets just vanish. Like, just send them away.
Dude, first of all, that was a great fucking way to put that. Second of all, it's a great idea.
Well, I mean, think about it. Because, like, look at the damage that they're doing. right?
Oh,
Not only are they taking up valuable time of the people that are very clearly, we'll call it, no, we'll call it normal, right? As intellectually inaccurate as that terminology can be in a discussion of this nature, we'll call it the people that are just chill, the quintessential quiet professionals, right? Then you've got the antis, you've got the people kind of in the middle that don't really know, they're indifferent. And then you've got these people that are really the squeaky wheel getting all the attention from everyone else.
yep.
Because if we look at the Second Amendment community as a whole, I would argue that the vast majority of that community is made up of the obnoxious rabble rousers.
All right. So now let's bring it back to the topic of tonight, which is how our interpersonal relationships play with all these people, assuming that they matter in our lives for other reasons. They're family to us, they're dear close personal friends to us, they're coworkers to us. Suffice it to say, whoever this person is, they're not going to leave your life anytime soon. And in many cases, you don't want them to.
Right.
Because we don't always have to agree with everybody. So first person we'll talk about is, if you this sounds like an intervention. If you love a bro vet, how do you help them? What do you do to fix them? Or is it at all your responsibility in the first place?
So I'm gonna err on the side of the latter option. And that's because I learned a long time ago, and this had nothing to do with Second Amendment. This just happened to be part of growing up. You know, I've always kept my friend circle personally very small. Even in high school, you know, there were a lot of people that knew me. I was on the wrestling team. I participated actively within, you know, the student body of, you know, the community, after the extracurricular activities. I was in the band. I was on the wrestling team. Like I was a social guy in high school, but I really only had like 2 or 3 friends. I'm only in touch with one of them now, like maybe every quarter. I hear from her, right?
I'll bet you are all up in that student body.
Oh God. Anyway,
did you ever go to France for school?
No, I was.
Study abroad?
No, I did not
Dad
study.
joke.
Very, very horrible dad joke.
Mm.
Oh God. Anyway, but as whether it's, you know, call it a fringe activity, and I'm going to lump Second Amendment activities and that community into that category of fringe, you know, lifestyle, versus mainstream, right? Whether it's fringe or mainstream, you know, whatever it is you're doing, you're going to encounter people that do not have the wherewithal to follow you or advance their own path alongside you. There are going to be a lot of people that you encounter in your life, be they family or friend, or just an acquaintance or a business associate, that you will leave behind.
Yep.
Right? So I'm going to do my best to recite a quote from actually Jordan Peterson. Stop talking to people who aren't listening to you.
Yep.
If they're not listening to you, you are wasting your time and effort, and you're doing yourself a disservice by continuing to talk to them, and they just dismiss everything that you have to say, and it falls on deaf ears. Spend your time talking to people that will listen to you, that will take for at full value the, you know, ideas that you're exchanging with them. One of 2 things is going to happen to the people that rejected you. They're either going to go about their path and they're going to find their own course and they're going to continue on that path, or circumstances are going to arise where they might just actually remember you for something that you might have said or contributed to their lives, and they're going to come back around, and your paths will cross again, or better yet, your paths will align, and you'll realize that you're on, you know, maybe not the exact same path, but certainly parallel paths, and you could rise together. And that's really how you find out who your true circle of people are, your tribe.
Sure.
No one owes you a damn thing. right? No one owes you their time.
So-
no one owes you their energy. And you cannot begrudge anybody for expending their own time and energy for doing the same.
So that's a great answer to the first part of my question. The second part of my question is, how much time do we owe them? How much of an effort do you owe somebody
Nothing.
else? None.
Nothing. You owe nobody nothing, and nobody owes you anything either.
Yep.
That's both sides of that coin. Stop expecting people to owe you shit.
Yep.
You owe yourself to those of which you are responsible. And even to a degree, there are some people who you might think you are responsible for, but in reality, you are not.
Yep.
The people that you betrothed yourself to, that you vowed your life and sickness and in health to, your children even, are not exempt from leaving and going on their own path to find their own way.
I drop things. No, you're absolutely right.
Right? So if we are responsible, like Kent, you and I are both responsible to our wives and our children,
Mm-hmm.
we owe them the time.
Yep.
We owe them the responsibility and our effort. But at the same time, they don't owe us anything in return. They really don't. Those are our responsibilities as humans on this earth and as fathers and as husbands. And it is what it is, right? If they're either going to stay with you and you're going to have a parallel path with the individuals, or they're going to diverge and they're going to go their own way. We can only hope that if you truly love and care for them and you want them in your lives, that they will come back around and your paths will meet again and you'll be aligned and in the same direction. But don't let the divergence of others stop you from your path in what you believe are your responsibilities in life.
I like that. That's a real good way to phrase and preface that. So now, interestingly enough, a common theme in the chat here from several gentlemen who are of same mindset to a degree that we are is the other interesting thing about pursuing these passions and putting yourself into this rabbit hole and continuing to push and to grind and to climb and to get better and to compete and to do all the things that we've done and expand our horizons as we do. When you get this deep into something, the people who are also drawn to that level of depth in the same subject are probably like-minded with you on many, many others.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's easy to call that an echo chamber. But the truth is, it's also simply that our personalities are such that they are predisposed to being compatible. You and I are a perfect example of this. You and I met by happenstance through these similar endeavors and are now best of friends.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah,
I literally, without hesitation or silliness and not trying to be funny, TJ, I love you. You're a brother to me. That started through this passion.
Absolutely, man. And likewise, my family would not have stayed at your house if it were otherwise. I promise you.
No. That's not my point. My point, though, being, would TJ and Kent are, as it turns out, simpatico in a number of other ways. Our humor is so similar. We enjoy the same other types of things. Our sarcasm is very similar.
Don't lump me in with your fucking humor.
Oh, fuck you. Our wives are compatible and are friendly because we married people who are also similar in that same personality and the whole thing. Our career trajectories are very similar. There's a lot about us that's pretty well fucking jiving and in line. You and I are great friends. Had it not been for shooting, podcasting, discussing the topics, all the da-da-da-da-da, your life in Colioca, Tennessee, and my life in, at the time, Bethel, Vermont, we would otherwise have never crossed paths other than for this.
Yeah.
There's a super duper whooper off chance I might have ended up at Royal Range at the same time you did.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we may never have even met.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I know that the soapbox that I kind of got on, with the proselytizing and everything like that, kind of had an air of doom and gloom to it.
Yeah.
But the reality of the situation is it's anything but. The realization is that we need to understand exactly what your friends are. They're like-minded people with similar interests. That's the point of a tribe. I love of all the things that happen in pop culture and all the names and fucking words and shit. Now I know how my parents felt when all of us started running around saying, "Dude, that's cool and radical and shit." What the hell kids are saying these days blows my mind. But the fact that we have started using the word tribe to describe our inner circle or our circle of people, the people of our sphere of influence, if you will, it has probably never been more accurate or poignant. It's I promise you, the numbers of people that are going to diverge from your path as you come up, and especially for the younger folks that might be listening. I know we've got a couple of teenagers that are part of our fan club, if you will. Your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, I watch them fade away as you stay on your path. My only challenge to everybody is to stay on your path. Now, your path might change as you realize. If you would have told me I would have been a cybersecurity professional 10 years ago, I would have laughed you out of the room. Right? If you would have told me I was going to be doing a podcast, with some random dude I met on the internet, I would have laughed you out of the room, right? Your path may diverge, but regardless, stay on your path. Don't diverge for anybody but yourself and your own interests. And of course, the satisfaction of your responsibilities on this earth.
Yep.
The people that you are going to leave behind is going to amaze you. You're like, wow, there must be really something wrong with me. I cannot count the number of people that I have left behind. I can't. But I can tell you that the people that I can count among my tribe, while fewer, count much more heavily.
Sure.
Than any of those people that are in the past.
Sure.
Right? It's kind of surreal when you really start to think about it.
Well, think about the depth of the relationships that you've gained through these pursuits. I mean, there are people who I'm deep friends with, like seriously friendly with, in New Hampshire, Virginia, Maine, Vermont, clearly, all throughout the state of
PA. The whole population of Vermont, all 5 of them.
All 6 or 8 of them. The Carolinas, and even a few out west, and even a few now in Ohio who I'm super simpatico with. I'm 100% compatible in mind and culture and spirit and everything else. I go and I attend training. I see these people in those certain settings, and any number of 40 or 50 people who I've met through training could pick up the phone right now and call me. And most of them would know I'm doing a podcast, which would mean to me that if they're calling me right now, I'm going to put this bitch on hold and pick up the phone for a minute, because something must be up and they must really need me. Like, that's how much I care about those people.
Yeah.
Because we've grown into like this group of people who, over this one topic, we share a lot of common ground. Then you look at people
I would even argue that for people that reach that depth of an association, you are united and identified. You're introduced on the premise of the one topic, but you realize that your interests in other topics and morals and qualities align as well.
No, that's a great point.
You know what I mean? Like,
I need to go make a dog not come make a whole mess. Hold on.
You have a dog. Okay, we lost Kent.
I have a dog issue.
Oh, a dog issue. Got it. So, folks, while Kent is handling the dog issue, this might be a good time to do a pause for an ad read. So, folks, the podcast itself would not be available if it weren't for our viewers and our participants in our affiliate programs. So, of course, Primary Arms, Right on Optics, Brownells, so many others. If you head on over to greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links, you will see all of our different affiliate program memberships. You're going to buy gun stuff anyway, so why not go buy it from retailers that give us a little bit of something on the side. It's no extra charge to you. We get a little bit of a kickback from it, and it helps us keep doing what we're doing to bring you guys free content here on YouTube and broadcast to your favorite podcast player. Kent mentioned it earlier in the show, but we would be remiss. We're talking about Second Amendment community, but medical training has come up quite a bit on this episode. So if you're not going to carry a gun, you should probably carry medical. And if you're going to carry a gun, damn it, you should still be carrying medical. So we always recommend darkangelmedical.com. Code BB15 will get you 15% off at checkout. No extra bonus or kickback for us. Just send a note in there letting Carrie know that we're shouting him out by telling him that the Sling'N Lead podcast sent you. And Kent's back. Thus conclude. See, look, the ad reads, perfect timing, man. You should go handle dog emergencies more often.
Well, I didn't mean to be rude, but there were scratching noises at the door.
If it's any consolation, I heard nothing.
Right. Well, I was doing a good job of that, but I kept being like, so yeah, it's interesting how the people kind of fade in and out, and how you're so simpatico with some of them. And then, if you ask me honestly to name off the best of friends, and I still have a lot of friends. I don't know about tribe or whatever, but I don't know. Everybody loves me, I guess.
Right.
Maybe. But
here's another equivalency for the people that just might not quite be jiving with what we're saying. I don't get it. I'm not in guns. None of my friends are in guns. I like the podcast because you guys are funny and you look good. If you listen to this on the podcast, you get the joke. But do you have children? If you have had kids, how many of your friends that do not have kids or did not have kids at the same time you did are you still in touch with?
Right.
Holy shit. You want to lose friends and alienate people? Have yourself some youngins. Oh my God. But to prove my point about the whole convergence of those wandering associations, when those people do have children, oh, how fast you'll hear back from them.
Mm-hmm.
My baby's making this really weird sound. What do I do? That's called pooping. And last I checked, everybody does it.
Right.
Right? Like, you're going to be fine, I promise. But yeah, it's a perfect example of kind of what we're talking about here.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting too is that if you look at people who I would consider to be in my tribe. So I like your vernacular. Sorry, who's in my tribe? 80% of them are on the exact same path that we're on. Maybe 85.
But along your lifespan, how big in total do you think your quote unquote tribe, be it a false labeling of what you considered your tribe at the time, right?
Yeah.
How big was that at one point in time?
At 10 years ago, if you'd asked me this question, I'd have said it might have been 25 or 30 people.
Okay. And that number's at what today?
15 if we're lucky.
Right.
If we're lucky. If we're really fortunate.
Yeah. And you, by your nature, you meet a lot more people than I do. I've been working at home for the last 6 years. Sure. Well, I had to come through the internet to find you. Right? It's because I live in this computer. What people don't know, I'm not a real person. I'm actually a virtual image of. I'm a real boy.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. If I had
ever seen Lawnmower Man?
Yeah. No, I promise. TJ's real. I have touched him.
Oh, because that didn't get awkward.
Giggity. No, but like, think about it. The people who really truly are in your tribe. I mean, and there are members of my family who are, and there are members of my family who are not, and that's okay. Like, not everybody's gonna love everybody. And I love some people who are outside of that circle. Uh,
Yeah, did you get Tim Kelly's message as well?
yeah, don't ruin it for him though. That's pretty funny.
No,
I
no, it's yeah, we won't do that to you. Did okay, there we go. Sorry, my camera froze. But yeah, Tim, don't worry. You're fine, you're safe. We don't really do t-shirts for when it's just Kent and I, so you're safe for now.
Yeah, we'll just re-promote the "Never Do That Again, Please" T-shirt or whatever the fuck bullshit TJ made instead of "Don't ever do that again."
It was a valiant effort, and it came from the heart.
Anyway, back to this whole tribe thing, right? Like, I love some people outside of my tribe or outside of my tribe. That doesn't mean like that's not the only indicator. Perfect example. Like, it's so fucking funny. We just said that the thing could happen. Bro, I looked sideways at my phone and I saw Tim Kelly on my phone. I damn well know Tim Kelly knows I'm doing a podcast.
He's watching it.
Right. He was commenting on it earlier. But yet you best believe I'm like, what's my boy need? Oh, he's commenting on something that we're commenting. Like, fine. But my point is, I was ready to let the needle scratch the cardboard and go and stop this whole motherfucker for Tim Kelly in a heartbeat because he's in my tribe. That doesn't mean he has to cut himself with a knife and give me some of his blood or nothing. It just means that's how much I care about, dude. That's it. Some of the people that are in my tribe they gives a fuck about this whole thing. They could care less about the gun culture, the training culture, the medical stuff. But yet, even those people, the people that respect me that deeply, what was my friend's fake name? Emily.
Yeah.
Emily will know exactly who she is if and when there's a high probability that she listens to this, because I've been blown away by her like hitting me up and be like, "No, that thing you said." I'm like, "You listen to my fucking podcast?" Like, shit.
Our own mothers don't listen to the podcast.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Let's put things into perspective here, folks.
Sure. Actually, my mom does.
Well, no, and I think to revisit a previous point that I made too, it comes back to the whole agree to disagree thing, right? There's going to be people in your life that maybe don't diverge. Maybe they stay with you and they're on a parallel path, but it's way separate.
Sure.
Right? You could all be advancing in your life and maturing and cruising down the path of life, and they'll never cross.
That's a great point.
Right? Agree to disagree. That doesn't mean I'm not telling people to actively go out and alienate them. Just let whatever will be and let it do what it's going to do.
That's a great point, because most of the people who I really, truly care about deeply, who are not part of this, whatever you want to call this, even people I would consider to be in quote unquote the tribe or whatever the fuck you want to talk about, there is a common theme even amongst us, and it's not guns or shooting or defense or medical or any of that shit. It's a continual strive to be a better version of themselves.
Right.
I get a name I will use. Dude was best man at my wedding, Nick Lindsay. Homeboy ain't down with none of this sickness. He ain't part of this at all. I'll tell you what he is. He's a goddamn good father. He's an amazing husband. He's a good family man. There are many things about him that I can look in and go, I respect the hell out of that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Our paths are mutually successful in other areas, right? But yet, it's not necessarily the same kind of thing. And the only time that he and I have ever had convergence in this is when it comes to him being like, hey, I really love my wife and I love my family and I love my beautiful little son here. And hey, Mr. Good friend of mine, are there a couple things that I could do to make sure I do a better job of taking care of them in the protecting them department? Yeah. But he's not into it like we are. He's an amazing musician. I might call him up and ask him a question about music every now and then when I'm interested in something, but I'm never going to put the hours and hours and hours of practice into being a guitarist like he did. It's just not the same thing. It doesn't mean you can't respect it. I think that's really the best way of understanding the parallel is sometimes the compatibility amongst people doesn't even have to be the exact same passions, the exact same beliefs. Sometimes it just has to be, hey, you're doing your best to be a good person, and so am I. And that's where it needs to stop. And unfortunately, some of the folks that this episode really is honestly for, like 5 or 6 people who have expressed this frustration to me around guns and shooting and training and the whole thing. And the common theme amongst them is, how do I get my to do this? How do I get my wife? How do I get my kid? How do I get my friend? How do I get my coworker? One guy in particular seems to believe that it's his job to go out and spread the gospel that is firearms and training. And it's like, well,
no, it's so
to a degree, sure, but
no, I wouldn't even go that far. I mean, it's so quiet professional, right? If we could agree that this is a lifestyle, religion is a lifestyle, right? Religions are like peckers. It's fine if you have one, but keep it to yourself and don't whip it out in public.
Tennessee.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right.
But you don't have to wear your passion on your sleeve.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And every single one of these people that are like that will be the first ones to be like, damn vegans. You know how you've met a vegan? They'll tell you.
Right.
know?
Like, you know how you met a firearms trainer? They'll tell you.
They'll tell you. Right. Give me a break, right?
Yep.
But yeah, it's now you know why I would wish for those people to be gone. Like, just get out of my community. You don't have to wear it on your sleeve.
No. And then there's the other kind of juxtaposition with that, which is the people who maybe they don't want to fly a banner, but there are people in their lives who they really truly care about, and because this is so important to them, they want to try to find a way to convey its importance, and they want to share it.
I think I can do that for you. I think we can answer that. Let's equip the audience with the skill set. Right? Tell them what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell them what it is. Tell them what it does.
Yep.
Now, if you were to come to me, let's look at the typical answers, right? Of course, we will exaggerate where comedic relief is required. But Kent, if I were to go to you and say, you're going to play the role of the bro vet. Hey, man, why do you go to the range all the time?
Oh, because it expresses my freedom and my rights, and it allows me to protect my family and my I enjoy it, and it makes me happy, and America and flag.
Yeah. If it weren't for the second, you wouldn't have the first.
Yeah.
Oh God knows.
Because if we don't go over there and do it, they'll come over here and do it to us.
Yeah. Pick your bumper sticker slogan that you'd find at your favorite local gun show.
Yep.
That's a trick, because there's no such thing as a favorite local gun show.
Oh God, yeah, don't start.
Anyway.
TJ, why are you so into the Second Amendment?
It gives me an opportunity to empower not only myself, but my children and my wife to be more self-reliant and to address problems that we see fit. Because while we hope for the best and we pray that the public services that we have available to us, like EMS and fire and medical and police, are able to help us, we understand the reality of the situation that they may not be. It gives me an opportunity to bond with my loved ones and to teach them perishable skills that will ultimately help them continue the tradition of being reliant upon themselves, as well as the responsibility in being safe and a respect for the tools that humans have invented over the years to serve a purpose.
Dude, I got to tell you something. That was one of the more articulate things you've ever said on this show. And if you could see the face that you're frozen in right now, because you two fucked you. I gotta tell you, bro. I gotta tell you, bro, you were froze like this.
Yeah, I saw the frozen picture. It's okay.
And the whole fucking time, you're just, my name is TJ. I'm the smartest TJs, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to say things. And your face is just, eh.
Yeah, I do what I can.
No, but that was exactly it. And you know what's
but that's why this is made for audio. If you're on the live chat, welcome.
Right.
But it's live. We make no promises on the overall quality of the video.
Right. You know what's funny though is the answer you just gave. You could have changed just a very few words and applied it to fishing, hunting, cars, fucking any of these things that people are extreme hobbyists in. Kent, why do you like to ski so much? I mean, it gets me outdoors. It keeps me in shape. It gets me to bond with my mother and my spouse. I love waking up every morning and being the first guy on top of that mountain and the last guy off of it. I live my life like that for years. I have a depth of passion for that sport and the overall feeling it gives me to the point where I haven't done it at the level I used to do it at for years. And I still dream about it and wake up either elated or in tears. That's how much it means to me.
Yeah, well, here's the reason why I want to. When you understand what it does, you can better when you explain what it does, you can better understand the why you're doing it.
Yep.
If you were to come at me and we take the answer from your stereotypical bro vet, the part that you played for this, I would immediately assume the why you do it is for shits and giggles.
Yep.
Which ultimately associates with a waste of time.
Which
we've said it on the show. Yeah, we've said it on the show before. Tactical masturbation. You like to go to the range, make noise, and punch holes in paper from distance.
So then when you approach it from that viewpoint, you can understand why it would be so easy for somebody to just legislate our rights.
Exactly. Well, what's the first thing that all these gun grabbers talk about? You don't need a 30-round magazine to hunt.
Right.
Right. Oh God, I wish the camera would have frozen right there. That was a great facial expression that I had. But you don't need a 30-round magazine to hunt, but that's not the purpose. That's not the why we have the Second Amendment. Right. But if you can't enunciate the what it is for you beyond that very shallow surface layer of America,
right,
you're going to have a hard time getting people on your side, folks. It's kind of what it is.
Right. You did a phenomenal job of summing that up. So in summary, for those playing the home game, if you're Emily and you are a good friend to somebody else and you are continuing to support them in their endeavors, or regardless of whether those things are parallel to your interests or not, good on you. If you are Jim and you are the guy at the water cooler trying to spread the gospel of the pew-pew, you may want to consider the fact that it A, may not be the audience, or B,
what's the common denominator?
Right. Or B, perhaps just maybe your childlike newfound passion for this thing that you found out you're very good at does not match with the mundane situations your coworkers find themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you're that person, fine. If you find yourself doing more talking about it than you do doing it, if you're the bro vet, then maybe you should either sister, live your truth. Like maybe you should go live your truth a little bit. Maybe you should stop talking about it and start actually doing the stuff. Or maybe you should reevaluate your personality and realize that like you are really valuable and really good at a couple of things. Why don't you go be a spokesman for one of them? Nothing wrong with that.
There's a million, if not more, very skillful weapons handlers. Very skilled. The difference between a skilled weapons handler and an instructor is their ability to teach and convey ideas to other people of a diverse audience.
Yep. Let's see what else.
Do you think the preacher understands the Bible any more than the dude in the front pew that's there every Sunday and has studied just as much of the Bible as that preacher? No. But when he starts talking fire and brimstone every time you talk to him, and how the devil has hands and he uses them for holding, right? People not going to necessarily want to go to that church, homeboy. Right? That preacher has a gift for conveying the ideas that are taught in Christianity to a broad and diverse audience of people that might not be of the same mind as Jethro in the front row.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. I see the devil working in your ginger ways, your worldly ways.
He's going to hold your hand. I'm going to tell you right now.
You'll wake up one morning, you're looking at their mirror, and instead of Timothy, you shall see the devil himself. I tell you, I have prophesied it and foretold it. It shall be the truth. Right?
I synced it in my gravy last Sunday.
The Cheerios said, ooh.
Oh, Jesus.
But then lastly, if you're that person who finds yourself devaluing and deflating your friends and the people who are in your life because you don't find value in their interests, and you also happen to be a gun guy and you hate it when it gets done onto you, thou shalt reap what thou sow. See, one more church thing.
Yeah, this thing went all evangelical.
Don't do that. My point is, if you don't like it when they do it about the guns and the shooting and the jitsu and the all the stuff that you do and the medical and the blah 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 blah, don't tell somebody else that the time they spend learning the ukulele is of no value. That's bullshit. It may be of no value to you, but if they find value in it in their lives, if it enriches their lives, and if it's somewhere like right now, there's a couple of dudes, probably not dudes, maybe a couple. I don't know. We'll see. There's a group of people right now doing a ukulele podcast. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna Google me up a ukulele podcast.
Keep talking. I'm looking this shit up.
Right. There's probably a ukulele podcast out there somewhere where they're like sitting there going, I don't understand why all the trumpet people hate us. Why is it that the woodwinds can't get with the ukuleles? And if you find yourself in that arena and you're the one rolling the hate downhill, maybe you should stop that.
There is more than I can count.
Ukulele podcast?
Yeah, but mad shout out to the first result, Abe's ukulele podcast.
Bro, Abe right now has his buddy Larry on Abe's ukulele podcast, and they're up there just like, I don't get it, man. I ukulele like a motherfucker. Like, you have no idea. I ukulele so hard. And they've got like,
you know what like, we should tune into it one time. Just be like, hey guys, so the gun people are here.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
We just have a jam session, and we're just gonna listen to y'all play your mini guitars.
Right. But my point is, somewhere there's a group. Young is sick of the one royalty-free music with ukulele in it, though. Of course, leave it to our audience to know something about a ukulele while we're at it. That kind of even further proves my point. But yeah, don't be rolling that hate downhill. Don't devalue other people's passions or other people's skill sets, because we don't like it when it's done onto us, so don't do it onto them.
See, now I'm going to see if they have more subscribers than we do.
They do. I promise they fucking do. We ate the first result on gun podcast, so if they're the first result on ukulele podcast, they probably have a shitload. I don't even know how to spell ukulele. Hold on.
Hold on. I got it. Ukelele.
YOU.
No, UK.
Oh my god. Oh god. Okay, let's see. Ukulele. How do I spell that again?
Oh god, there's a okay, so let's see. Hold on. I hope this doesn't start playing. Oh, it doesn't show you on Apple Podcasts how many subscribers they have.
Mr. Mason says hello.
But they've got 46 episodes.
Okay.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I want to know about the ukulele people. It's very important to me now all of a sudden.
Yeah, right. This conversation has completely let's say 45 total episodes, rating clean. Yeah, it doesn't show me how many people subscribe. That's so weird. Although they have 38 ratings.
Yeah.
Loyal fans and followers.
Yeah, what's it called?
Abe's Ukulele Podcast.
Ukulele Underground.
Yeah, that's another one, but this one is Abe's Ukulele Podcast.
All right.
I can't imagine how much free airtime this guy's getting on our show right now.
Right. Oh my God. Ukulele Underground has 410,000 subscribers.
What we're doing? Yeah. I guess we're just gonna have to completely change the spirit of this podcast, folks. Join us next week for Sling'N Saxophones, where Kent and I will be doing a rendition of Kenny G's all-time greatest hits.
This dude's doing his own intro on his podcast.
Because he plays the...
You're live on the island of Kauai. This is the Ukulele Underground Podcast.
Oh, we don't even say it right. He said ukulele or some shit.
It's probably because he's actually an islander from Hawaii.
Yeah, we're fucking it up so bad. That dude, that's like the equivalent of somebody jumping in and being like, clip, and we're like, magazine. Like,
right. And also, this podcast would probably have a lot more traction if our last names were Browning and Wesson.
Right.
Right. I was just saying, when you're part of the culture.
Yeah, bro, I think we've done a phenomenal job of breaking out the various ways in which we can communicate with people who do and who do not agree with our lifestyle choices.
Yeah,
centered around defensive topics. This was a particularly good show.
I agree with you. I would say that it's worth a rating.
I would say
on your favorite podcast player.
I would say so too.
For those listening on the podcast, I'm glaring judgingly into the camera right now. Anyway, yeah. I'm not going to be petty. I promised myself I wouldn't be petty. I'm not going to be petty. But a 5-star review would be nice. Just one.
Yeah, we have 5-star reviews, don't we?
Our wives did them.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, but anyway, no man, good show, great topic. I mean, folks, listen, just relax.
Yeah.
Don't concern yourselves so much with the opinions of others, but at the same time, allow yourselves to be concerned for others. You get into it what you put into it.
That's a very good way to put that.
Just don't be see rule number 1 on our Facebook page. Don't be a dick.
Meanwhile,
is that so hard? You see what I did there?
That's very good.
Dick hard.
That's
okay. It's high school humor, but it's humor nonetheless.
Good. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm emailing the Ukulele Podcast to see if he wants to come on our show.
Oh dear Christ! Hey, do you? Well, yeah, sure. What the hell? Why not?
He's got 410,000 people. If he brings 10% of them, we'll septuple our fucking subscribers.
Yeah. For next month, we're going to discuss the commonalities between people who are anti-gun and those that are anti-ukulele.
I guarantee you, there's some fucking ukulele Karens out there.
Probably.
I guarantee you. He probably.
Of course there is. Of course there is. Look at the Karen. The Karen cannot go to a restaurant and order a glass of ice water without wanting to talk to a manager.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, imagine there's probably some like instead of "don't tread on me," there's a picture of a ukulele.
Don't pick on me.
Don't pick on me. Yeah, that's our T-shirt for the night. TJ, we just found our T-shirt for the night.
I'm gonna have to draw that one.
You have to draw a ukulele that says "Don't pick on me" with the no steppy sneak.
Yeah, interestingly enough, that's the only patriotic sticker I have on the back of my Jeep, the no step on sneak.
Right. But even that one is somewhat it expands upon itself. Like it's its own joke to a certain degree. But no, dude, we should do a "Don't pick on me" ukulele shirt. I have 2 students who are music teachers who will buy the fuck out of that. So that's like $30. Do that.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
TJ, beep boop.
Yeah, we shall beep boop. I'm gonna have to draw that one though. I'll work on it.
Really, really funny.
We do what we can. But yeah, so we already did the ad read. So let's close it out, buddy.
Okay. I'm going to go watch the ukulele podcast now. The point is well proven, though, which is that if you do have a buddy who's super duper whooper into, say, ukuleles or something else that's not gun related, but you still care about him, be good to him. Just don't be a dick. That's all. Just this whole thing, all we ever need, really, like our whole show could just be summed up with a 20-second clip of Jedi just going, "Don't be a dick," and staring into the camera intently. That's all we really need to do.
Dude, as long as he doesn't wrist lock me like those dirty purple belts do, we're going to be fine.
See, there's the jitch jokes. All right, dudes. Well, here's the thing. We appreciate everybody tuning in, dudes and dudettes, and 10-year-olds who take med classes and do just as well as the adults. No shit, homeboy, 10-year-old did just as well as the adults in med class. That was fantastic to see. No, Steve, we did not scrap the t-shirts this week. Screw that. TJ's making a ukulele shirt now that we have talked him into it. By talked him into it, I mean I have decreed that he shall beep, and therefore there will be boops. But dudes, honestly, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you for your continued support. Wouldn't be the same without people to listen to it. The audio is getting some fantastic traction. I love hearing people hit me up who, I've trained together 5-6 months ago, a year ago, whatever. They're still talking to me about topics that have come up on the podcast. And it's been a really, really, really fun ride over here. 83 episodes, Mr. Ramsey. 83. When we started this shit, we were like, I don't know, we might do 8 or 3. 83. Holy hell. We've done a serious service to the community, or at least our therapists will thank us. I'm not sure which.
That or our listeners' therapists will thank us. Yeah,
well, maybe that. Anyway, you got anything to say to close them out?
No, that's it for us, folks. That's all we have time for this week. Catch us again next week. We will have another show. We're getting back in the swing of things. Until then, God bless you all. Take care of each other. Get out and shoot.
Don't hit stop yet.
What's up, Aaron? What's up? And Mr. Kahai, the legend Ferguson.
Hold on. Don't hit stop yet.
Okay.
Come on. Pop your head with me. Don't you dare edit this out. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
It's quite pleasant. How could you not like that? All right, folks. We're out of here. Good night.
Good night, everybody.